Welcome to the most forward-thinking, inspirational podcast on the planet. Prepare to reevaluate everything you've been taught.
They have the power, but we have the numbers now. It's all just a constant illusion of control. They break us like horses.
And they can tell us we're crazy, and we can say, well, you haven't seen anything yet.
Everything you knew was a goddamn lie. Put you up and explode like it's the 4th of July. Possessed by perfection in this land, if you're awake, you're the enemy. Every day a new deception. Pick your scene and take direction. And on a search to connect. But I don't wear a mask and I have no regret. Down on your knees, you don't look so tall. Open your eyes and the empire falls. Don't you step out of line. Don't you step out of line. And here we go.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to talk about a few things today. It's an interesting topic. It's negativity. Negativity is what I want to talk about. And it seems to me, two things, believe it or not. We're going to talk about negativity, and we're going to talk about getting started. Getting started is one of my all-time favorite topics, but it seems to be coming up a lot, and negativity comes up a lot today. It is the ethos. Ladies and gentlemen, today is Tuesday the 15th. I think it sure is Tuesday the 15th. And I've had a few people mention to me that they're getting oddly negative comments today. And I laughed. I laughed at this and I read some of the comments. I thought these are funny as fuck. And then also lately I've been getting negative comments. You talk too much during your interviews for one of my podcasts years ago. And you know what, bro? You're right. And this is one of those things that comes back to getting started. Nobody tells you what a podcast is supposed to be or what anything is supposed to be. Every single person, I can guarantee you this, every single person has an illusion inside their head of what they're supposed to be when they start doing a podcast. They have this desire to, I don't know, be something right out the gate. And I don't know where it comes from, but we're frozen. We're frozen from this fear of perfection. This idea that we need to be perfect at the gate prevents us from getting started. And another thing too is there's, at no point am I doing anything here other than, I hope, entertaining you guys and speaking into a microphone and having a good time and enjoying myself as I go. So when you start getting, a long list of not a long list, but certainly, when you start dabbling in, back-to-back negative comments, it's entertaining because something you've done somewhere has pushed the ethos, has pushed a barrier. There's a quote in a Stephen King book that says, the more you push against the past, the more the past pushes back. And it was one of his time travel books where he's trying to save the president. And it was interesting. What he was implying in the book was that, if you're trying to get somewhere and you're trying to change something that was in the past will push back. You'll get a flat tire, your engine will blow, something like that. And that applies to virtually everything, not just the past, obviously, because none of us are time travelers unless we are. I'm not one. When you start pushing against the ethos, when you start pushing against the narrative, and I'm not talking about the narrative that is quote unquote created by the man. I'm talking about the general overall narrative, how we perceive what we perceive, which is a very personal experience. But when you start going against that and when you start challenging yourself to do something bigger or better, every single step of the way, you're going to have somebody that's going to step on you. And it's because they need to step on you so that you can see what you're doing and do better. And I'm not kidding when I say that one of the biggest but one of the biggest things I want to work on is my ability to communicate better. Not just give better interviews on the podcast, legitimately communicate better. And I will adamantly say that when I get excited about something, I overspeak people. I step over them with my voice, and I don't want to. I want to get better at that, and I'm going to get better at that. This is episode 149 or 150 or something like that. And I honestly feel like I'm just getting started. So to anyone that's out there that wants to get moving on this, there's obstacles. Of course there's obstacles, because without them, what's the point? You can have a lot of fun when you really start creating what you need to create for you. And the people that want to be naysayers and shit talkers, man, honestly, are they creating anything? And if they are, can I hear it? If you want to talk shit on my stuff, you should be able to show me your stuff. Not because I want to talk shit on your stuff, but just because I want to see, who's giving me advice, who's being critical. There's an old saying, never take criticism from somebody you wouldn't go to for advice. And it's the truth. So, do I take criticism? It used to hurt. I used to always want somebody to think something of me, but honestly, whenever you hear somebody say anything, they're just either saying to you exactly what you had already been thinking and what you needed to hear again, or they're just saying whatever it is they need to say for the sake of them saying it. But there's always a case for it. So there's always a case for bullying too. When I talk about these guys are bullies, these digital bullies, everybody talks about these keyboard warriors, and I'm really happy also, and this is going to sound weird, but I'm happy to see the bullshit pick up again, because for a time there, everyone was afraid to say anything to anyone about anything. Now, honestly, you're going to get some dicks that just want to run their mouths to be seen for the sake of being seen. I did a podcast with a friend of mine, and he's the statement that he said is, it has happened time and time again in history where people have tried to hijack greatness. And I'm not saying that I'm greatness or that people are hijacking me, but I am saying that people will try to make a name off. You can go to any major account that's either pushing a positive message or something like that, and you're going to see some hero in the comments ripping them apart because they've done something, they've created something, they've got a decent amount of followers, whatever it is, however somebody wants to justify their own angst and anger and aggression compared to, what this person has done versus what they weren't able to do. They want to be in the comments being negative as well. So when you can observe this, when you can see this, when you can see that no matter what you're going to do, if you've got the desire to open your mouth, you're going to get backlash. And there's also another saying too, that if you aren't getting backlash, you're not pushing enough. You're not trying enough. If you're not rubbing certain people the wrong way, then you're not pushing hard enough. And that to me is pretty sound as well, because you can't please everybody all the time. And there's a huge difference between somebody who's going to be critical about you and somebody who's just going to pop up, run their mouth, and disappear. But here's the cool thing. If you're going to run your mouth and be arrogant and ignorant, that's an engagement, and the algorithms love engagements. So you don't want to give too much credibility to these guys, and you don't want to allow yourself, your essence, your ability to swim in their world, as it were. Because negative people are negative for a reason, and they want everybody around them to be negative. So they're these little dark holes that want to destroy everybody around them instead of lifting themselves up. And they think they're being funny, and they think that they're being liked all around with their dark sarcasm. I know, because I was him. So anyone that comes at me with that energy, I spot it right away. I'm familiar with it. I used to live there. I hated it. I hated everything about me. So when I see old me rip on me now in the comments through somebody else, I do get a kick out of that. And that kind of also wraps into time travel. Maybe it's me ripping on me. Who knows? But to all of you that don't have a thick skin, and you're thinking about podcasting, you're thinking about getting your message out there, honestly, man, do it. Just do it, and just know that, somebody might say some shit. But it's not up to you to worry about that. It's up to you to contribute whatever it is that you need to contribute to this. So again, like the two topics I had for today, and again, it's just going to be a short episode, but get started for sure. And the negativity, we are passing through something. There is something that's going on, obviously, the past couple of days and maybe a few days in the future, where there's going to be extra negative people out there just running their mouths. And remember, too, that negative people and positive people are all part of your experience. So however you choose to perceive, whatever you choose to perceive is what creates something. But when you see somebody that's harshly spewing hate, you're like, meh, that's really all about them. Like, I'm sorry that you feel that way. But thank you for engaging me. I thank you. The algorithm thanks you. We're all happy about it. And for you, that is going to get started and is going to push their message. Consistency is the best thing that I can say. Like I said, I'm 150 episodes in, and I feel like every single episode is my first. I feel like I'm getting better and better and better as we go. Everybody remembers the people when they're famous, but nobody really pays attention to them getting famous, as it were. And I'm not saying I'm getting famous. I'm just saying that I'm 150 episodes in. I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary. And my first year was riddled with issues, insecurities, technical problems. Was I going to do this? Was I going to do that? What was I going to say? How was I going to draw any crowd? How was I going to do anything? Who's going to listen to me? What's this all about? I mean, the number one things that people have to worry about are who's going to listen to me? Who needs to hear what I have to say? Why would anybody listen to me? And the truth of the matter is, everything that we do here is for us. The speakers, they're speaking. I'm speaking right now because it's therapeutic for me to do this. And I hope it helps you. We've been getting some really solid emails too. And I'm not discrediting those. I mean, every single person that reaches out to us gets a response for the most part. If you're just going to be a dick, why would we respond to that? But if you're going to be a dick and be funny about it, yeah, we're going to engage with you. So there's, pros and cons. If the energy's right, everybody just jumps in and everybody's lively about it. For those of you who have not started yet, but are looking forward to getting started, the very first episode is one of the hardest ones for you to do. The first step is always the hardest. But being consistent and setting yourself a time to record, even if you do it once a week. I'm sitting here right now and people are like, well, how am I supposed to edit? What am I supposed to do? How do I get this? How do I get that? All these questions that they have in their heads, which are very easy to answer. When you go through that, and you're trying to create something, anything new, and you're going through the doubts and the how do I's and the what do I's, write that all down. Because what your brain is doing right there is giving you a blueprint to succeed. You're already asking all the questions you need to know. You grab the answers, you write the answers down. And when you tangibly see what you needed to write down, you're going to get the results you needed to get. So you're giving yourself a blueprint to succeed. Now, this, for example, this is just a straight recording. This isn't an edit. This isn't a chop. This isn't a break things up. I wanted to get a message out there, and I'm very much okay with sounding like an idiot sometimes. I'm very much okay with run-on sentences and this sort of thing. I'm not a production studio. I'm not worried about sound bites. I'm not worried about hate. I'm no longer worried about hate. I lived in a world where I hated myself for so long that any small amount of hate you could send my way it just bounces off me. Nobody can hate you more than you hate yourself. So that shows up in how people talk to each other, and also with regards to my desire to communicate better as a person, we can all communicate better as people. I talk about controversial topics on this show. Obviously, and it's only controversial because we're not allowed to talk about it because somebody somewhere said, you can't talk about that. Well, what if I wanted to talk about it? Why can't I talk about it? Why aren't we allowed? Why are we so worried about people being offended? Which is another reason why I'm happy to see this anger stuff back. But it sounds weird, but I'm happy to see, these aggression texts again, and these are not texts, but emails. It just goes to show that the world's pushing back, and maybe it's me that they're pushing back against right now, but enough is enough. We've been through a lot. We've been through a lot as a world, man. This past 18 months has been really trying on a lot of people. Obviously on everyone, but it also goes to show you how global village we really are if we're all in this together. And there's a difference between being all in this together, like I've stated it, and we're all in this together, like the government states it, because there are no major battles in this world. There's never been a you versus me. There has only been an us versus them. And the us and them are becoming more and more clearly defined right now. But that's a topic for another time. Right now, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you, and I'm pushing you, and I want you to really create. So to everyone out there that's ever worried or hesitated about creations, just start creating. Start recording. Use Audacity or GarageBand. These are things that you can download for free on your computer. Use Anchor for free. You just upload to Anchor, no problem. This isn't an ad for Anchor, nothing. As a matter of fact, Anchor banned me from my last podcast. The other podcast I was running with a friend of mine. We got flat out banned. No episodes pulled, no nothing. Just woke up to an email saying your podcast sucks. We're taking you off the air. And it was a lesson. Am I mad about it? It was a year and a half of my life. Yeah. Was it good stuff? Sure. Moving forward, do I need to recreate that stuff? No, because I'm not the person I was when I recorded that over the year and a half. Neither was my recording partner. We're coming back. That episode is coming back. It's going to come back better, right? So we make our mistakes, and we've got people that are going to very, very happily rub it in our faces that we've made mistakes. You talk too much during your episodes, man. Thank you. You're right. I do. As far as everybody else that's getting guff, remember, if you're getting guff from people, you've affected them. And if you've affected them, then you've achieved your goal. So don't worry about the hate. Don't worry about the negativity. Don't worry about any of that. That's all just pillow talk. And it means whether you love me or you hate me, I will be your obsession. One of the greatest quotes of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions about podcasting, shoot us an email, info@the Mental Mastery Alliance. If you want to know anything else, if you're having any issues with anything else, again, shoot us an email. The phone numbers are changing. We had such an issue with the American phone numbers, the call-in phone numbers. So that's a bit of a pain in the ass right now. We lost all of those messages. So to my American listeners, I am very sorry. But the new phone number exists. Oh, I have the new phone number. Sorry about that. The new phone number is 31238. You know what? I'm not even going to give this out because I don't think the voicemail is properly set up for this one. See this? Man, there's so many things that you guys can all rip on me for, and this is one of them. I don't know what I'm doing. I just clicked record, and now this is going live. I'm not going to edit this out. This is raw. This is what podcasting is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything we do is perfect and everything that we say is thing. Man, I'm just a dude that saw something different, that wanted to make a change, and that wanted to speak. That's really all I am. So anyone that's out there that decides they want to rip on me, that's okay too. And I applaud you for doing it. Now, if you are in Canada, you can give us a call at 647-338-1265. That voicemail is working, and we will check that. And if we like what you have to say, it's not so much that we're editing it, but sometimes it's ridiculous. So if it's not ridiculous, if you've stated your name, where you're from, and you're clear speaking, and there's no messy background noise or anything like that, we'll get you on the air. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I love each and every one of you. If you hate me, thank you for listening. If you love me, thank you for listening. This has just been one of those episodes I wanted to just pop out. I want you all I want you guys to do exactly what you want to do. You know, my only rule in life, or the only thing I ask, is don't be a dick. You know, don't be a dick. And however you want to define that, that's up to you. I'm very open about that. Just don't be a dick. To everyone that's starting, again, get going, man. You'll love it. And to all of those experiencing the negative energy right now, this too shall pass. We're in a weird spot. I'm in my mind, I'm sensing this. It's like a week and a half, 10 days. I don't know what the change of the guard is. Somebody might know what's going on. I can't figure it out, but I do know that I feel it. Let the negativity pass through. Don't make any major decisions for the next couple days. That's all I'm saying. And yeah, man, in the infamous words of Red Green, keep your stick on the ice.
Thank you for listening to today's Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Let the team know you're listening by using the hashtag MMA and Mental Mastery Alliance. Want more motivation? Be sure to follow online on Instagram at Mental Mastery Alliance and on Facebook at Mental Mastery Alliance. And remember, your perception creates your reality. Make it a great day.
You got it, Pontiac.